and then I'm going to go to more, go live on YouTube.
Yep.
Wow.
And it's, give me a second here. It's thinking about it.
It thinks a little bit. Yeah. It takes you.
It's,
I don't see the record coming up yet.
no, I'm getting this. The user is not enabled for live streaming.
Did you select the right user?
I did, Waterville Valley and,
No, it should be you.
no,
No,
It's-
no.
it's Waterville Valley. Public, but it's not taking it.
That's okay, Rich. Don't worry. Don't let it hold you up because we can post the video there later. So
Okay,
you're recording
Oh,
right now.
It
so
does say it's recording, Rich.
right.
Mike, these are two different things. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
trying to get the YouTube, live YouTube
Oh.
stream going.
Yep.
All right, well, let me welcome everybody to the inaugural meeting. And I'm hoping that sometime during this meeting, I will be able to turn over these duties to a chairperson who will then be responsible for all this stuff. So let me start with the required right to know law meeting checklist. So as a Board of Selectmen for the town of Waterville Valley, this is the inaugural meeting of the Municipal Solid Waste Committee. And due to the COVID-19 coronavirus crisis and in accordance with Governor Sununu's emergency order number 12 pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, the board is authorized to meet electronically, or the committee, I should say. Thank you. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to the meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, this is to confirm that we are utilizing the Zoom platform for this electronic meeting. All members of the committee have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through the Zoom platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through zoom.us and enter ID 817-7344-5626 and password 183267, or by clicking on the following website address, zoom.us. We previously gave notice to the public of how to access the meeting using Zoom, and instructions are provided on the town's website at watervillevalley.org. If anybody has a problem, please call 603-677-2470 or email at townofwv@watervillevalley.org. In the event the public is unable to access the meeting, we will adjourn the meeting and have it rescheduled at that time. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. We don't have a roll call attendance yet, but we will get to that presently. So I think I've completed what I need to say for the right to know.
Very well.
So let me move to the agenda at this point. Obviously, the first thing I think we need to do is to appoint full and alternate members. We had previously thought or agreed that 5 full and 2 alternate members seemed like a good number. And a number of us have talked to various people to see if they were interested in joining, and we can discuss our various conversations with them at this point. I would add, though, as a talking point, first talking point, given the interest in the committee, do we want to bump up the alternate members to 4 from 2? I believe the planning board can have 4. There are 4 alternate spots, although only 2 are filled. But I'm not certain of that, but I believe that's the case. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to check. So that's correct, Wendy?
That is correct.
Okay. So I'd like to just throw that on the table, and then let's fill out our full membership and alternate members. We had also agreed previously that it would, it would be good to have as members, full members, representatives of 3 town bodies with a strong interest in trash. And that would be the select board, to whom this committee will be responding to. The planning board, since it controls the CIP, the capital improvement program, and the Conservation Commission. Well, because they're the Conservation Commission, and that involves trash, garbage too. So those are the 3 I think we could start with. I offer myself up as the select board representative, at least at this point. And I think, Mike, you've offered yourself up as the planning board rep.
Unless Wendy is, okay,
Yeah, and well, I was going to give Wendy something else.
okay.
Take it.
Wendy and I do a lot together, so that's fine.
And Eric, I think you were jumping at the bit to be the Conservation Commission, so you're it. So those are those 3, and we also talked about having for the other 4 spots we had talked about, the other 2 full members and the 2 alternate. We talked about maybe having a single family homeowner and a condo association representative. And then alternates, and having 2 business reps, 2 different types of businesses. And then if we want to add a couple more alternates, we could decide what we want to do there. So anybody want to, I know we talked about, some people agreed. I won't put you on the spot, but Wendy, would you like to be a business owner member?
I would. My only concern for committing to this is the date and time. As y'all can see, I'm at work, and
Yes.
things are a bit quiet right now, and probably going into the spring will be. But I don't like making a commitment if I can't see,
Okay,
a
fair
longer.
enough. Yeah, or later in the discussion, I have I believe I put in there, if I got it right, establishment of committee voting and meeting procedures is the next topic. And one of the issues, I didn't put it on the agenda, but a note to myself, what I wanted to talk about under that was time of day, and in particular, whether we wanted to perhaps look at a later time in the day so that our business representatives in particular would be free to join us. So
This is
is
Jeff.
that okay at this point for you to take the business, one of the business slots, Wendy?
Sure.
Since you own 3 businesses, I think.
Well, and I'm on the Resort Association board too, so I think that would be
Great.
a good.
Great.
Well, I definitely would like to participate, but
Okay,
if sold on this, I don't want to screw things up.
understood. Okay,
This is Jeff Soper. I have a question.
yes, please, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. So my only knowledge of this committee is I live on River Road, and I'm an Eagle Scout, and I'm really passionate about recycling. And what I've been doing is carting all my family's trash back down to Winchester, Mass. Every time I
Good.
go back.
Thank you.
So I feel really good about that, except it's I got a new puppy, and it's just kind of become my life. And I grew up in Boy Scouts of the paper drive, and I think the idea of composting is kind of neat around Waterville Valley. So could you just give a really quick overview of what the charge is of the committee? And that maybe will
Sure.
help get an understanding of whether I want to participate.
Sure. Yeah, I hopefully I sent you a couple of documents. I may have forgotten that had some previous discussions about this. But definitely, well, we still have to put together a vision statement, and I threw some language down sort of as to start the discussion that we can talk about a little bit later. But the bottom line is that the select board has been wrestling with this issue of solid waste disposal for some time. And the issue of recycling came to a head 2 or 3 years ago because we had to stop recycling. And so we've been wrestling with that part of it, but also the fee structure, the way we operate, landfill access issues. There are a number of different solid waste disposal issues. Jim's on here from Public Works, Jim Mayhew. Jim, you always feel free to speak up. But the select board was looking for a committee that it could staff out a number of these issues and discuss them, do some research, and maybe come back with recommendations to the select board and how to proceed further. Certainly recycling, solid waste recycling is going to be a huge part, I think, of what this committee will be looking at. And I haven't thought about it. I'll leave it to the chair, to decide, how he or she would like to do this. But it seems to me that, we could break up into, subcommittees of the committee to specialize in certain areas if you wanted to do that. Did that get a little bit close? I mean, probably meet monthly, that type of thing, and as needed.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'd be willing to do this.
Great,
If you
great.
have me.
Excellent. So what position would you like to fulfill for the committee, or fill, I should say?
So my wife's laughing in the background. Usually she's the one that volunteers for everything. So
Right.
I would be the single family
Okay,
person, if that works.
that would be fine. Okay. Is anyone else? So we've got a couple. Anyone else want to get in there? Amy?
I'd like to throw my name in. I work in the solid waste industry. I work at a couple landfills, transfer and recycling facilities. And I also teach a graduate level solid waste class. So this is one of my absolute most favorite topics to talk about. So I was thrilled when I heard the Valley was starting a committee. I'm not involved in anything else in the Valley. I own a condo. I'm not part of the association, but
Right.
I do love the topic.
Wow. So, I think this is just me speaking. I think probably it'd be best if a resident was the chair, but you sound like a great vice chair. If I was chairman, I would like you as a
Yeah, I
vice
would agree.
chairman. But that aside, I think I see John on here, Weigold. I don't want to fill up all the different spots we may have, but were you thinking of being an active member as well, or were you thinking more as an alternate? Alternate is active. It's just, again, we haven't discussed it yet, but you wouldn't necessarily be seated for voting.
Yeah, first off, can everybody hear me? I'm having a little bit of a computer challenges, but
You're good.
yeah, sure. I'm happy to take either an active or an alternate role. I became aware of the committee through Tim Smith, who thought that might make some sense for me to sit on it. Amy, very similar. I spent a lot of time in and around landfills, have for the better part of my professional career. Earlier in my career, I ran the hauling operations for a company out of Boston, from essentially Maine to Rhode Island, as far west as Worcester, about 100 trucks, 2 transfer stations, landfill, things like that. And have since spends a lot of time, I won't bore you guys with it, professionally around landfills, and continue to do so to this day. So happy to participate to whatever extent you folks need. Obviously a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I would say, someone mentioned earlier, I think just time of day is probably a hard thing to work around. If we can be flexible on that, I have my day job I have to attend to too.
Right. Yeah, no, not all of us here are in the glorious years of retirement, something like that.
So it sounds like you've got great knowledge, but probably want to be more of an alternate than a full member, so that you can come when you want to come and can't come when you can't come.
Yeah, that
Did I
sounds
say
great.
that
It also, it seems like that would retain my right to complain without having any ownership on anything.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Very, very, very much
That's
could be
perfect.
the, very much could
Rich,
be.
do you have a list of if we're gonna have 5 where you are?
I'm sorry?
Rich, I was talking to Rich.
Oh, sorry.
I
Gotta
think
get
you've
rid of
just
that.
about filled your 5.
So, no, what we have is basically me, you, and Eric as the 3 town officials. Wendy is one of the business, and Jeff is one of the, as one of the
That's 5.
Family.
family.
That's
Right.
5.
Oh, what did I say? I meant 7, and I meant
I
7.
thought
I meant
you and I agreed. I thought you
7.
and I agreed on
Yes,
7.
sorry, I had 7 total in the brain.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine. You and I agreed
No,
on
it's 7 full, 2
Right.
alternate, but perhaps going to 4 alternate if we have
So
enough.
we have 5. We need 2 more.
Sorry,
Oh,
gotta
wow.
get rid of someone here.
All right. So we have 5.
We have Amy Dill as co-chair, and we have Becca Hastings as a condo associate,
Alternate. Just
an alternate.
Right.
Does that sound right?
Yes. We need 2 more full members.
I'd certainly be happy to be co-chair, but if somebody else wants it,
Right.
I'm okay with
So
that too.
the chair and co-chair would be the committee position
Right.
out of the full members, right? So
Yes.
yeah, we could use it as co-chair, and then you sound like a good, you sound like it'd be, I'm trying to figure out where would be good place to slot you, because you live in a condo, yeah?
Yes. Well, I'm a part-time resident up there. I don't
Yes,
know.
I understand, yeah. All right, I have to think on that a bit. I know Jean, you wanted to be an alternate, Jean Mullen wanted to be an alternate, and Anna, of course, I haven't forgotten, you want to get in on this too.
Yeah, I can be an alternate for Jeff Soper's homeowner. I can be an alternate for the
All right.
homeowner
Well, it sounds
position.
like maybe we ought to increase it to 4 alternates, because we have Jean, Anna, and
Right.
John, the 3 of them right there.
John, Rich, I don't have to be an alternate. As long as I can come to the meetings, and
Now, anyone can come to the meetings, yeah.
Right.
It will be up to the chair to open up to have anyone, to
Yeah.
how they wanted to run the meeting and who could talk. So I perhaps I
And
should make a
as well
commitment.
as when we, assuming we break down into some subgroups or subcommittees, alternates can be on those
Yeah.
subcommittees
Yeah.
as well.
I like
which
the
is really
idea of
important.
4 alternates.
okay.
All right, so now I did get an email from Jim, what's his last name, Mike, from Black
Yeah,
Bear. He
from
couldn't
Black
make
Bear.
it today.
Yeah, but I mean, we ought to have somebody from one of the big hotels. All right, and I approached him, and he got back to me yesterday and said he was kind of previously, and then we spoke again yesterday. He said he was kind of tied up today,
Right.
but was very willing to be involved. I guess that at least the ones from Golden Eagle and so on. So I think that he should be, they are, I don't want to call them trash people, but they are big trash makers. How's that?
Did he explain? I'd have a chance to talk to him. I just got an email from him today. Did he indicate that he wanted to be a full member?
I did not get that far with him. He just said he wanted to be involved.
Okay.
And
Because
that was one,
obviously he could fill that business. He could
Yeah.
fill that other business slot.
and when we first set it up, we said we wanted somebody from one of the big lodges to be,
We were hoping, yes,
yeah,
or at least in some capacity.
right.
Yeah, and I did reach out to Tim Smith at the Mountain. And I think it was he who gave me your name, John, as someone to be interested in it, but in joining, but they were unable to make any commitment at this time to joining this committee.
Yeah, they're kind of busy right now.
Yeah, I imagine very, very busy.
So how many people are you up to, Rich, in total?
Alternate.
Yeah, well, we got 3 alternates, and we've got the 3 town officials. What we need is, we've got 1 homeowner, and I think we've got,
And Wendy?
and Wendy is a business. I'm just writing this all down now so I don't forget. We
Yeah.
don't have a secretary. It's something we need to talk about. Kind of
Yeah.
how to run the meeting and take notes at the same time as to what we're talking
So
about.
we can fill 2 more slots as members.
Rebecca, you've expressed an interest too.
Yeah, I could be an alternate since Amy is much more qualified for trash and she's a condo owner. Um, I'm happy to be an alternate.
Rich, legally, I have a legal question, Rich. Can
Yes,
a
sir. I'm not a
non-resident-
lawyer, but I'll answer it anyway.
Yeah, I know, neither am I. But we both play one on television. But can a non-resident be a member of the board, of the committee?
I did ask that question and was told that the answer is yes.
Okay, I didn't, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, then that answers that question.
Yeah, I think just a matter of how we wanted to organize it among
Okay.
ourselves.
Okay,
Well, I'm here 6 months of the year, if that makes a difference, October to April.
but you're always available.
Always here.
And hopefully by 2022, I will be a resident.
Right.
Rebecca, aren't you a resident now?
No, like I said, we're only here from October through into April.
Not funny, I thought you were on the voting rolls for some reason.
No, I wish someday, soon.
All right,
All right. So what I've got Jeff as a full member representing homeowners. I've got John as an alternate, sort of a business expert, if I just put it that way. Mike, Planning Board, Area Conservation Commission, me, Select Board, Wendy, Business, Rebecca, alternate / condo, Amy, condo, Jean, alternate / home, and can't read my own writing here. Oh, Anna, alternate / home.
we need a couple of those alternates to switch over.
Dewey, how we doing? So we've got one home, one condo. That's 2. We've got 2, we've got a business in Wendy. And no, I think all we have to do is see if Jim over at the Black Bear wants to fit the other business slot.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I
All
think,
right, well, I'll put him down that you volunteered him and then you can go talk to him.
that's fine.
Okay. As a member, sorry, I said we have no secretary, so I don't want to lose what I'm writing here for business. All right.
Can I just check, is Rebecca an alternate?
Yep,
Yeah.
I had Rebecca as alternate for condo. So Rebecca, Jean, Anna, and John would be the 4 alternates, which
Okay.
only really means that you know, if we decide to have just voting for 5 out of the 7 full members, if you know the chair.
Well, no.
would decide-
We'll have 7 full members
Right,
and
Thank you.
4 alternates. So the
Right.
7 full members
we'll
will
vote.
be able to vote.
But other than that, the alternates can do everything else.
Right,
Right.
correct.
Unless you're seated because someone else isn't around to
Right.
get up to the 7 numbers. That making sense to everybody? I'm sorry. I'm
No.
getting confusion.
Do you seat alternates when you have a quorum?
You can seat alternates when there's a vacancy.
A full
So,
member is
if-
not present.
right, so if Erin, for example, can't make it because of whatever she's doing, one of the 4 alternates will be seated in her place,
Right.
for example.
And in that example, perhaps if Anna was there, we'd pick Anna because she could also, she's on the recyclable
Whatever.
energy committee or something like that, right? I have you guys right. I get all these committee
I know.
names.
The
Recyclable
Renewable Energy Commission or committee,
Commission.
right?
Committee,
Right.
commission? Yeah, that thing,
Yeah, Renewable Energy Committee.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the
So
past,
that's-
I mean, my experience with the boards have been that anybody who's a member can talk.
Yes, member or alternate.
Okay.
Or, yeah, either full or alternate member can
Correct.
talk. It's just a voting thing. All right, so it looks like all we really need is one alternate, right? So if anyone sees someone of interest, if we're gonna go to 4, I mean, we've got 3. No, wait a minute, we've got,
We have 4.
We
Yeah.
have 4.
Or-
We have
we're full
4.
up then, right?
We have 4.
Anna, Rebecca, Jean, and John.
We have 4.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. Yeah, there's 11. I forgot to write my name down. Okay,
Right.
11. Could be a Freudian slip, I don't know. Anyway, all right, sorry for all this chatter. I know real people got real work. So if we're good with that, I think the next, before we get to the voting of committee officers, we need to discuss how we want to vote. I mean, how we want to organize. Do we want to make it based, I assume, just majority vote, 4 out of 7? That's the decision we come forward to. And then we need and then we need to look at meeting procedures.
All right, so my suggestion is that we should not be dealing with super majorities. We should be dealing with straight majorities. And that would be my suggestion, unless people have some other burning desire.
Can you explain the difference of those?
In our case, for example, a regular majority would be 4 out of 7.
Okay,
There are some situations in arcane situations like the US Senate where they have things called supermajorities, where,
Okay.
for example, in a supermajority, we could have that say, no, you don't need 4 out of 7. You need a supermajority of 5 out of 7 in order
For a
to
proposal to pass.
Yeah, and that in order for a proposal to pass, and that's called a supermajority.
got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
sorry.
so we're
I
looking
think-
at 4 out of 7. I'm sorry, Anna, did you?
I think a simple majority is sufficient in what we're doing.
Simple.
Yeah. Let's not make it any more confusing than we have to.
I agree. Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with simple. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
Kiss more.
Yeah. So now I think let's talk a little bit about meeting procedures. I mean, I think we'll do it sort of like this. I mean, the chairman will open, make the necessary right to know statement, because we are a public body. And we can develop more procedures as we go forward as a committee using, say, the planning board as a good example of how this is done. We've got several reps here, including the chairwoman of the board. So there's plenty of experience in how we do things and these sorts of meetings that we can adopt. But the question on the table, as I think a couple of them mentioned and I meant to discuss here, is the time we meet. Presumably first, is meeting monthly as needed seem like the way to go for most folks before we decide on time of day?
Yes.
I think we need to start off with monthly for sure.
Yeah, and as needed, always have the ability to call a meeting. The chairman can, as long as we can get enough people.
Yeah.
And that would be the other thing, is 4 enough? Will 4 be enough? And I would say yes,
Yes.
right?
Yes, 4 is a quorum.
4 is a quorum, so that would be one of the other things. Okay, so time of day. Different committees do it, different boards do it, different times. Sorry,
If
it's my ship's clock.
On the school board, we have found 4 o'clock works reasonably well. It's a little bit later than, for example, the select board meets. Wendy, we're pretty good at 8 o'clock in the morning on the planning board.
Mhm.
But some people that work then have to leave.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would think 4 o'clock would make it a bit more doable. I'm always a morning person, but I understand that other folks.
I'll
Might-
send you coffee from Latas.
Well, here's the other
4
aspect.
o'clock works for me, and then if we need to change it later, we can change it.
4.
4.
Well, let me just raise this one other thing. We also have to look at the timing in terms of any of the public that would like to participate. And this is sometimes an issue with, with an 8 o'clock meeting in the morning on a work day, a 3 o'clock meeting, or a 4 as a school board. So often we hold when we really want to get messages out to people, we hold those meetings like at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah, but Rich, those are usually special meetings.
No, that's what I'm saying. We want to get something special. We want to make sure we get something
So,
out, but
Yeah,
something like
my
this has a lot of interest, I think.
But I think we kind of do it similar to what you do or what other boards do. Have a regular meeting at 4.
Mhm.
And when we truly have things that we have of special interest, all right? Then you sit here and you have something that's done at 6 or later, like we're doing now with the school board, for example.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are we married to Thursdays or are there days of the week up for discussion?
you throw it on the table, Wendy.
Wondering about Tuesdays, just because of the ebb and flow of business. And plus we have planning board on Thursdays already and maybe it would help
And school
staff.
board on Thursday.
Yeah,
Tuesday is good. Let's go to, I have no problem with Tuesdays.
Are we coming to a consensus of Tuesdays at 4? Anyone else want to raise a point?
First Tuesday at 4.
And do we want to make it the first Tuesday of the month or the second Tuesday is another good way of, does it matter for business folks in particular? Is that first Tuesday of the month, anything special for you? I've never been in business. I've been a government hack all my life, so.
So, well, the question is, anybody have a problem with first Tuesday
No.
of the month at 4?
Tuesday?
No problem.
Okay,
Good. All
Yeah.
right, I'm writing it down, so it's now official.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
First Tuesday of the month at 1600 hours.
1,500 hours.
So can anyone think of any other aspects of meeting procedures or voting procedures that we need to discuss that I don't know about, didn't think about?
No, we'll worry about whatever we missed at the
Right.
next
We
meeting.
definitely could do that. Everyone good so far then? All right. So I think if everyone agrees, this may be a good time to turn us to voting for the 2 key officers. And then, well, secretary, I want to get the chairman seated first and make the secretary his or her problem instead of my problem. I've not been successful in finding one. I've done a little work and I could talk a little bit of what I've done and try to acquire a secretary, but I've not been able to get anyone to agree to be one. So yes, but there are 3 key persons for every meeting of the 4 that of the quorum that we have to have, or at least the chair or vice chair has to show, with the vice chair obviously assuming the chair position if for some reason the chairperson is not there, right? The obvious sort of thing. Yes, Jeff. No, you're muted.
I would rather not be an officer. I'm board chair of a nonprofit already that's taking a lot of my time.
Yeah, don't raise your hand and say that because you ever been in the military, Jeff? Yeah, don't do that. Understood, yeah. Well, we have one person who's already volunteered or was volunteered, I think. And that was Mike Capel for chair. Is anyone else would like to pick up that particular position? Or is this going to be Mike? I assume you still want it even?
No. I said I would do it.
All right. Anyone else care to comment on that? Okay.
I think my chair.
Well, what we need to do is then we should do this is a public meeting. So now that we have members, we have to have those members vote. So the as I see right now, the 7 full members, we got 6 of the 7 here, so we don't need to seat any of the alternates for voting, but I will. And for that purpose, I will seat. Any of you want to be seated for sure? Well, actually, let me seat Amy because I think your name's going to come up soon in the next vote we have. So it'll be good to have you seated, right? So we'll have 7 people. The 7 being Jeff, Mike, Irit, Wendy. Let's see, myself. And someone keeping count? Did I leave anybody out here? And then
Amy
as seated for Jim, who's not here.
Right.
Did I hit 7?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do a roll call vote. Well, first I'll make the motion that Mike Capel be elected as the first chairman of the Municipal Solid Waste Committee of Waterville Valley. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Look at all those hands.
Thanks,
go.
Wendy.
It's not me, right? Okay, so we have a second. So I'm just gonna run down the names. If you'll just say yay or nay. Technically, you should say your full name too, right? Because this is what New Hampshire wants to do. So I'll start with, it's not alphabetical yet, so I'll just start with Jeff.
Jeff Soper, I vote yay.
All righty. Mike Capel.
Mike Capel, yay.
Okay. Eric Levy.
Garrett Levy, yes.
Wendy Rathgeber.
Wendy Rathgaber, yay.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Amy, I didn't catch your last name.
Dill, Amy Dill,
That's right. Sorry, I'd forgotten. Amy Dill.
yay.
Amy, you're a yay. And that, am I left with just me, right? Rich Rita? Yay. So it's a
Yay.
7-0. So hopefully someone's keeping track of these votes, but I'm going to assume that's a 7-0. 7-0 vote. Okay. So we have our chair. Let me just continue on with this, Mr. Chairman, for
Keep
election
going.
vice chairman.
The hard part. You need
And
somebody to
take it from
volunteer.
there.
Okay, we need a volunteer. For
So,
vice chair
Amy,
or
did you
co-chair.
volunteer to be a vice chairman?
I will.
You did.
Would someone like to put Amy's name in nomination for that position?
I nominate Amy to be vice chair.
That would be Amy Dill. Would someone like to second that?
I'll second it.
All right, we've got 2 seconds. So we'll do this one more time. The nomination is for vice chair of the Municipal Solid Waste Committee of the town of Waterville Valley. Jeff Soper,
Yay.
Mike Capel,
Yeah, Mike Capel, yay.
Eric Levy,
Yay.
Wendy. I'll never get your name right.
Wendy Rathgaber, yay.
Thank you, Wendy Radbury. Yay. Amy Dill
Yay.
and Rich Rita. Yay. So we have a
Yay.
chair and vice chair.
Yay.
Congratulations. We've looked and expect big things from you. I know I can speak for the select board, at least for a few more days. We have a lot of great hope for this committee. We really do. It's something we've been thinking about doing for many, many months. And as I've said before, thanks to Eric's work, it kind of forced the issue to let's get off of this. And well, we were doing other things like wastewater treatment facility for $25 million and repairing roads for up to $8 million. But have we told you guys about that yet? For $8 million. Yeah. So it's kind of fell a little bit by the wayside, and yeah, taxpayers are going to have something to deal with over the next few years, I'm afraid. Okay, so Mike, I will turn the.
Well, we need one more officer if anyone is willing to do it.
Right. Well, I was going to turn the gavel over to you and recommend, if you go down the agenda, that we see if we can find a secretary among us. And I can discuss, it's over to you now. With your pleasure, I can discuss what I've done to date on the issue.
Go ahead.
So I've made some inquiries, and as I said, I've not found anybody who's willing to be the secretary. The secretary does not have to be a member of the committee. It could be.
I was going to see whether we could volunteer Nate.
Well, I talked to you mean Nick? Nick, yeah. I talked to Mark, and he's just too slammed with other things right now to be able to attend another committee meeting. And one of the reasons that I'm running this is because both he and Sharon are very busy. So I've had to set up the Zoom and the YouTube and all of that. And so what we need is a secretary who can take notes and also be responsible for, and it's quite easy, of setting up the Zoom link ahead of time. Sharon will do all the publishing, and Sharon and Nick will do all the noticing, the town, all that stuff. They just do not have the time to be able to actually do the work and attend the meetings. So it doesn't have to be a member. So there's where we are. And it's obviously an important position. We've got to have a secretary to keep track. Now, all of this is being recorded, and it will be recorded on YouTube as well. But we do need to have it. Now, Mark did say as well that he could he could have Nick write up from the secretary's notes if he wanted to, if we wanted to do that. He could put together the, the draft minutes of the previous meeting, but he would not be able to spend time at the meeting, either running it or running the Zoom and all of that and taking the notes. So that's where it stands, Mr. Chair.
So once again, we come to the situation where I guess we have 11 people here and we need someone to volunteer to be nominated to do this.
I think it's less than that, if I may, Mike, because, well, yeah, I don't think Jim Mayhew, would you like to be the secretary of the?
Look at him.
I don't think that would work. Yeah, Jim and or Mark, by the way, I meant to mention earlier, will be sort of our staff support. One or the
Right.
other or both may be attending these meetings as well to represent the town municipal waste, solid waste disposal folks. Let me put it that way.
All right, Garrett,
So I have a question for you, Rich. I think you mentioned that Mark mentioned Nick could potentially watch the video and take minutes from that. Is that legal? Can he do that?
Yes, he could.
Sure.
He could do that when he finds the time. That is a possibility. It's not the best. Obviously, the better solution. The better solution is to have somebody taking notes during the meeting. And that person, I mean, someone has to set up the Zoom and all of that. So I thought the secretary could fulfill the function.
yeah, but
of admin
setting up
assistant.
the Zoom is not really
No,
that difficult. That's easy.
Once Sharon gives you the information, then you can do
That's
it.
relatively simple.
That's no, but it's an administrative assistant function that I think would fall under a secretary, were we to have such a person. I think too, we need to be a little bit careful because I don't think that, say, a planning board member, planning board rep or the select board rep would make a good secretary, because they need to get back, maybe probably also the Conservation Commission rep. I mean, they're going to be busy as representatives for those boards, and this would be saddling them with keeping notes and not paying so much attention to the meeting that they probably should. Yeah, we have to be careful about doubling up those positions too, right?
Yeah, well, maybe. Is anybody willing to step forward? If not, at the next meeting, we're gonna draft someone.
Or we can keep looking. I mean,
Well,
I'm taking the notes. I'm taking the notes.
I'm gonna talk to Jim either tomorrow or this weekend. Weekend's probably not a good time for him. But I'll talk to Jim the beginning of over at Black Bear and see if he's willing to do it.
Right. Okay, it doesn't have to be a member either.
No, I know
Or
that.
alternate member, right?
I know that, but let me talk to him the beginning of the week, because I'm sure weekends are busy for him.
Mhm.
But let me talk to him and see if I can con him into it. All right. Okay.
Yes, I think that's fine, and I think we should also continue to try to find somebody. And if anyone can think of anybody, be willing to help us out.
We're just about down to the bottom of your agenda, sir.
Let's see. Well, I have a privilege of the floor here just to see if there anybody from anyone who was not a member but who attended wanted to say anything, and I don't think we have any of those.
I don't think we have those.
Those folks here. So I think no one from privilege to the floor. No one called in. I don't see anything from.
No, I didn't see it. I just looked.
Right. Okay. So this gets us to really new business. And well, this is what I thought. You're the chair now, Mike. So over to you.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest question now, and I want people to think of it, is I think the importance of this committee, the same as I've seen us do in other committees, we're going to have to break this down because there are several significant topics that we have to explore. I'm assuming everybody knows about the financial consideration of trash that we have, I guess, with the increase the select board did, we're still what, $135,000, something like that?
Yeah, well, this is proposed. We haven't actually
No, I
voted
understand,
on it
but
yet. The proposed increase.
Based upon the select board proposal, it would be $135,000 instead of $200,000
For the first,
short.
Yeah.
The first year.
first year
And-
increase.
Still short.
And we have to think about whether or not we think that how we should address that, or should we address that? And that is one issue. Clearly, recycling is an issue. We understand the issues with that regard. We have to talk about Bethlehem. I think that's an issue, is it not?
Mhm.
All right, so we have to talk about Bethlehem, which kind of infringes, if you will, on recycling. I mean, so those are three clearly separate and distinct topics that we have to have. And what I think we have to do, I was hoping next meeting, I suppose we could do it this meeting, but do really next meeting, is figure out how we break down our, I guess, 10 people into those subcommittees and try and figure out what we want to do and what we want to recommend. It's not going to be that, as Wendy knows, these things do not happen quickly. And we have a lot of work to do in those three areas as to what we can and or should do. There is an issue. I don't know how big an issue it is. Jim, are you still on the line? Jim, May, you still here? No, I don't see him.
I'm still here.
Okay. Hi, the question I have, and maybe you're the guy to answer it. How big an issue do you think invaders are? If you know what I'm asking.
You talk about access?
Trespass.
Yes. Trespassers, invaders, use whatever term you choose, of people that are coming and using our bins, so that they don't have to use their dumps or anything else. I know it's an issue. I've seen people do it. I just don't know how big an issue it is. Or does anybody know how big an issue it is?
Right, it's hard to put your finger on it, as far as, you know, to give you something quantifiable, like percentage of tons produced, so we can't really do that. The biggest problem that we see isn't so much the house, you know, the municipal solid waste, which is the stuff that goes in the dumpsters, basically. The biggest thing we see is, things like tires and propane tanks and.
I saw somebody dump 3 tires there,
Right.
and I yelled at them and they gave me a dirty look, so I didn't do anything.
Right, and these are things that we're pretty sure, given the makeup of the residents in the valley and the guests in the valley, that they're not coming from the valley.
Yeah.
Is the other problem we also have, it is part of this access issue, and that is improperly disposing of things like construction debris into the dumpsters.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's an access issue.
And that is not as much of a problem here with our small facility here. It's more of an issue out in the condominiums,
Right.
where condo owners will have a kitchen redone, or they'll have a bathroom redone, and we find, or they put in new flooring and take out the old flooring and carpet and whatnot, and that ends up in the condo dumpsters, and then we can't dump it.
Right.
Okay.
And this is these types of things, if I can continue talking, sorry about that, folks, but this is really an issue of access, right? I mean, we have 24/7, 365 open access. So we do have a camera up there now. We're putting up some big signs in the transfer facility to try to help with with that issue of access, but I do think in combination, if this is where you were going, Mike, in combination of
It is a combined.
fee
it is-
structure, recycle, landfill, I was gonna say access is a separate. These are access issues, and I would certainly be, this is something the select board's been wrestling with, and I can certainly be on that subcommittee. Maybe I'll end up on all of them, because in the end, I'm
No, that's not fair to anybody. I mean, that's
I
why.
don't really mind, because I deal with it on the select board. I mean, I might as
Yeah,
well.
but
get my 2 cents in.
that's the same thing we did on the planning board. It's not fair to make
No.
anybody,
Right.
have anybody do it. That's why we have subcommittees.
Yeah.
So that we have people that
Right.
come back and talk to all of us.
Right.
And that's the way it should work.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that.
My only,
But
my only
I would say we
thought,
should have an access or operations subcommittee to work with Jim and Mark to see is there anything there that they need advice about that we could research. And
So
help.
that's 4. That's 4 subcommittees.
Okay.
yeah, and this is Jeff. I agree, because I don't think it's as easy as, changing the hours, because frankly, I just love the idea that, it's kind of an open setup, but we got to quantify where the issue lies. Is it quantity? Is it coming out of the condos? Is it the type of, trash we're dealing with?
That's why we have to have a
Right.
group, a subcommittee
Right.
that, figures out a way to quantify it.
Yeah, exactly.
If it is quantifiable.
I certainly, we've got a lot of anecdotal evidence, and the fact that Thornton Campton is now closed on Sunday. I think there have been at least one incident I know of where a resident of, I guess it was Campton, was up here on a Sunday dumping their trash. They closed as of the end of last year.
Yeah, and they're talking about new ways of
Dealing with it, right?
dealing with it, as well as dealing with their money situation.
Right, and so, and the word I also hear, for what it's worth, that the word is getting around that, hey, we may be closed, or that Thornton Campton may be closed, but Waterville Valley is open
Mhm.
24/7. So people know that.
Yep. All right.
The nice thing for for people that are not here full time is to be able to leave on a Sunday and dispose of their trash, right?
That's why we never had, we
Yeah.
didn't man it. Jim can speak to this better than I can, but it's why we've kept these wide open hours.
Yep.
All right.
Somebody mentioned
Yes, sir.
Bethlehem issue before.
Yes.
For those of us who aren't familiar with that, could somebody just maybe give a bit of a voiceover to what that is?
Simplistically,
Let Jim talk.
go ahead, Jim. It's pretty straightforward.
The issue with Bethlehem is they were just issued a new permit for a new cell, but they have not got a permit to operate from DES as of yet. That is pending. There is, I think it's called the Conservation Group, and I think it's CLF is taking them, is taking DES to court over the permit to operate the new cell. There are also some issues with airspace. DES thinks that there may be potential compliance deficiencies that NCES, that's the landfill, has to address, which they've already done. And then, of course, the big unknown is what is the life of the landfill and how long are we going to be able to go there? And if not, we're going to have to take our trash to Berlin, maybe Vermont, maybe Rochester. We have to have an alternate place for us to go and remove our, get rid of the trash. The big part about that is not so much the per ton cost or the hauling cost. That is the time for the round trip because we only have one truck. And we already get behind on on holidays, big weeks. We get behind, and then in the wintertime, we get behind because the guys also plow. And so we can't go on a 30-hour shift of plowing and then turn around and pick up the garbage. So there's a manpower issue. There is a storage issue, if you will. And, and quite frankly, if in the wintertime, just like everybody remembers how cold it was Monday, loads freeze on.
Sure.
And
But
the
simplistic answer to Bethlehem is it is an issue. We don't know how long we will have access to it. And other places take more time, more cost, and so on, is the simplistic answer to the Bethlehem issue.
That is the simplistic answer. And there is also, they have cited a new landfill, potential new landfill in Dalton, but that is also being fought very, very heavily.
Yeah, it is. When we talk about the Bethlehem issue, it encompasses a lot of. It is a much more complicated than just Bethlehem.
It's very much more complicated than Bethlehem because it involves Massachusetts trash.
Yep.
So we have that issue. We have DES. They're not. Last time DES did anything with MSW regs or anything was like 2005. They're not updated. They're not manned. There are issues in that we should. There is no mandate to recycle in New Hampshire.
Right.
So.
Okay.
What about the waste to energy plant in Concord?
There is one there, but it's limited. Well, years back, they were going to build another one in Concord. And I forget the name. I have to pull the file out, but I forget the name of it. We joined that cooperative, if you will, prior to the construction of it. And that went south. And the other thing is it's very difficult for municipalities to get in to some of these places because they only take, you have to be a member in order to be able to bring your trash there. Trash to energy is also, they can only take a certain amount of trash, a certain amount of tons per year. So it's difficult.
So I do work for that company, so I have to be careful with my opinions, but if there were any questions or concerns regarding going there, I could get those answered.
Well, you just volunteered for that group.
The landfill.
I would be happy to.
One of the other issues, one of the other concerns we have, go back to John's question too, is that I know something that's really worried the select board is that if Bethlehem is closed and we were going to be competing with a lot of other towns to find a place to bring our trash to. And that's sounds like a dog, pardon the pun, but that's going to be a dog eat dog world, I think. Right, Jim?
It could very well be. Yeah.
This is the when I said the Bethlehem issue, I was shortcutting a big issue.
Yeah.
It is we have a bunch of very significant issues, and what happens in Bethlehem and what happens if there is no Bethlehem and other things is a major issue. Or what if we know that Bethlehem is only going to be there for 2 years is an issue. So Bethlehem is
code.
Yeah, it is code.
Code for landfill issue.
It is a major issue.
We've got a letter, the select board, the town received a letter, Jim, refresh my memory, where the operators of that landfill say they are very confident that they're going to be open to 2024. But that's their opinion, right?
That is.
And but they're fighting that, but that's.
We're in court now.
It's in court. Yeah.
It's in court. So I mean, yeah.
At any rate, 2024 is only 3 years instead of 2. So basically what we do when we talk about the landfill issue, which I abbreviate to Bethlehem, it is a major issue that we have to address among the other issues. All right, so what I would like people to think about between now and beginning of April is which one or two of these subcommittees they would like to be involved with. So that we can figure out what it is we have to do. Some people are pretty obvious as to what they should be involved with. But there's a lot of coverage here and a lot of work to be done, which is why the select board decided to set this up. How'd I do?
Good.
Okay, is there anything else we want to talk about before?
Yes, I would like to bring up two items. One is, I'm not sure many people are aware that supermarkets recycle bags. The shopping bags that you use when you leave the supermarket, the produce bags, and some of your shipping bags, that they're marked recyclable. Are you aware of this? So I
No.
spoke-
Yes, I am, but
I
I have a bigger issue. and a
Okay, wait.
suggestion.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I spoke with both managers of Hannaford and Market Basket because I wanted them to confirm that the company called Trex, I think we all know who Trex is, that they are still picking up the plastics from the supermarkets.
They are. I thought they stopped because of COVID.
They are doing it. I just got the word today. They are doing it. So what's lacking is the supermarkets should be putting up nice, pleasant signs saying, reuse, reduce, recycle. Just the way I saw in Montreal in the 70s. This is how they got people in Canada to get on board with recycling. So I will speak with the managers about that, but I wanted people to know and start spreading the word instead of trashing them, which doesn't do us any good. Reuse them, put them in the container that's right at the front entrance of both supermarkets. So that's number one. My second point is, and I'm very excited about this, Jim. So I recently learned that Littleton recycles glass. They have their own facility for glass. And I didn't get very far speaking with the NRRA about it because, as I told you, they wanted us to collect 800 tons of glass. And as you told me, that was absurd for us to do. We have no.
Right, but Eric, that would be the collecting facility.
Right.
Would
I
be
know.
800 to 1,000 tons of glass prior to
Them picking up. So since then, I learned that Campton and Thornton has Casella picking up every month from Campton and Thornton. So the information we got from NRRA was not to our best interest. That, in other words, we can do it in another way. And I thought, oh, if we can recycle glass and cardboard alone until we establish the full recycling story, if we can just focus on doing those two things, we will eliminate weight and volume from our trash and reduce it in the landfill. So Littleton alone is near Bethlehem. We can bring it to them, or Casella can bring it to them, and they break it up. They're an aggregate, whatever that means. They're an
All right,
aggregate.
so I'm gonna make you a subcommittee of one. Wait a minute.
Well, that would be under recycle, maybe.
Right.
I want to
so
be on the
basically-
recycling committee with Eric.
Fine,
Okay.
You and Eric just became the recycle committee.
Oh, can I do that too?
No. You just became, yeah, fine. The three of you could be on the recycle committee, and we expect a detailed report from you at the next meeting.
Okay.
Well, we have to go up to Schilling's Brewery because that's right around Littleton too.
Hey, I want to be on that committee.
We can make that happen.
Yep.
All right?
Yeah. So doesn't that excite you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
Garrett, when you talk to the Hannafords and Market Basket, I don't know what Market Baskets looks like, but Hannafords is always full. They need a bigger bin or two or something.
Yeah, you caught them on a bad day because it was empty last time I went.
Okay. I catch them on a bad day every time.
Or the other piece is if they're taking it, which, you know, like when you drive by and you see Dollar General and
Yeah.
all their cardboard is all bound up there. I'm
Right.
like, why can't we do that?
Exactly.
Right?
Mhm. Yep,
Personally, I think we should make Amazon open a recycling for cardboard
yep,
facility.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Well,
Amazon,
we now have a committee that is going to come to us next meeting. All right,
yeah.
And tell us
all-
how they're gonna get
with-
Amazon to do that.
detail. All right,
Mike, can you send out everyone's contact information?
well, actually, Rich is gonna do that
Okay.
because I don't have it.
I will do that as part of this write-up. I will do this. I will be the secretary pro tem for this meeting.
Right, thank you.
I'll get, at least, I have everybody's, everyone on here, I have the email, so I will blast out an email to everybody here with what we talked about, and then you guys can,
Right.
contact each other via the email.
Okay,
Okay,
okay for
Is-
now.
is there anything else?
All good here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second,
All in favor, was there anyone opposed?
Well, we gotta do, I'm sorry, but
I know, I hate that.
do you want me to
ahead,
call the
I don't
roll
have the
as the
list, but-
secretary?
Go
You have
ahead,
your own
Rich,
secretary today.
Go
Shall I
down the
call the
list.
roll?
call the roll.
Mr. Soper,
Aye.
Mr. Capel,
Aye,
Ms. Levy.
aye.
I don't see Wendy on at the moment. Okay, she's busy doing the American thing. All right. Ms. Dill,
Aye.
and did I leave Mr. Reader? That would be
you
me.
left off yourself.
I just said yes.
Okay,
So
All
how about a
right,
6-0
guys.
vote? That'll work.
I will set up the next meeting with Sharon and or Nick
Okay,
for the first Tuesday in April at 4:00.
April 6th, everybody.
And Erit, you and I have something to talk about. My wife and I have a brilliant idea, and you are the one to execute it. Because you became the chair of that subcommittee. Thanks,
Who is
Scott.
there executing? Wait a minute.
I'm gonna hop. Thank you.
Thank
Who
you,
am I
Jeff.
executing?
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
everybody.
Amy. Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Thank you, Becca.
Nice meeting you all.
Nice
Bye-bye.
to
Everyone.
Pleasure.